Hey friends, Tony here from TL Yarn Crafts, and today I'm showing you the Tunisian Crochet Wave Stitch, a beautiful way to add color and motion to your crochet projects. If you're excited to learn this Tunisian crochet technique with me, be sure to like this video and consider subscribing to my channel for even more crochet tutorials, free patterns, and product reviews. For this tutorial, I'm using a 6.5mm Tunisian crochet hook and 2 colors of worsted weight yarn. The wave stitch is worked over a multiple of 10 stitches plus 2. For my sample, I'm working over 32 stitches. We're going to grab the first of our 2 colors and chain 32. So make a slip knot, place that on your hook, and tighten down the knot. We're going to yarn over, pull up a loop for 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 32. All right, so here's my chain of 32. And I'm actually going to flip my chain over. And on the back of this chain, you're going to see these little bumps. And we're actually going to work into those instead of into the front of our chain. So we're going to skip this first chain and go into the back bump of our second chain. So I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. I'm going to do that for each chain down the line. Insert in that back bump, yarn over, pull up a loop. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. We're going to do that for each chain down the line, and we'll know we did it right if we have the same number of loops on our hook as the number of chains we had in our starting chain. Okay, so I've pulled up loops in all 32 of my chains, and now I'm going to do my return pass. So I'm going to start by yarning over and pull through just 1, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And I'm going to do this until I have 2 loops left on my hook. Continuing down the line, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, until there are 2 loops left on my hook. So now I have just 2 loops left on my hook, and I've got my foundation. Yours should look something like this as well. Now I'm going to grab my accent color, yarn over the hook, leaving a long enough tail to weave in later, and I'm going to pull through those last 2 loops on my hook. So my first row is gray, and now my next row will be my accent color. For my next row, I'm going to start off with 2 Tunisian simple stitches. So this first loop on my hook counts as my first stitch. So I'm going to skip this vertical bar here and Tunisian simple stitch this next bar. So insert under that bar, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Insert under the next vertical bar, yarn over, and pull up a loop. We're going to follow that with 4 Tunisian double crochets. Yarn over your hook, insert under the next vertical bar, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on the hook. We're going to do that again. Yarn over, pull up a loop in the next vertical bar, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So we'll do that a total of 4 times. Yarn over, pull up a loop in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. So I've got 1, 2, 3 double crochets. Yarn over, pull up a loop in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. So I've got my starting stitch, my 2 Tunisian simple stitches, and my 4 double crochets. We're going to follow this with 2 simple stitches. So insert under the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop for 1, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop for 2. Follow that with 2 Tunisian slip stitches. So we're going to insert under the next vertical bar and do nothing. We're going to go to the next vertical bar, insert, and do nothing. So these are our 2 slip stitches. So we're going to repeat that again. 2 simple stitches. Here's 1 and 2. 4 double crochets, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4, followed by 2 simple stitches and 2 slip stitches. So here's 1 and 2. Let's do that again together. Simple 2, 1 and 2, double crochet 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, simple 2, and slip 2 and 2. Now we're at our last stitch. If we rotate our work towards us, I'm going to drop these slip stitches really quick just so we can see this last stitch together. We'll see that we have a front bar and a back bar for our last stitch. We want to make sure our hook gets under both of these bars. So I'm going to put my slip stitches back on the hook, insert my hook under the last stitch. I'll yarn over and pull up a loop just in that last stitch. So this is what our work looks like so far. You can see the different heights of the stitches are already giving us kind of a wave pattern on the bottom of our work. And now we'll just want to do a traditional return pass. So we start with a chain 1, so yarn over, pull through 1 loop, and then yarn over, pull through 2. So make sure you count these slip stitches as their own loops. We yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 until we have 2 loops left on our hook, and we'll be ready to change color again. Yarn over, pull through 2. So those are those slip stitches. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, again until we have 2 loops left on the hook. Yarn over through 2, through 2, through 2. So now we've got 2 loops left on the hook. I'm just going to tighten this down so that got a little out of control. And now we're ready to change color, so I'm going to drop my purple and grab my gray, yarn over the hook, pull through those last 2 loops, and now I'm ready for my third row. So I'm just going to Tunisian simple stitch across the row. First loop on the hook counts as the first stitch, so we're skipping this first vertical bar, inserting under the next vertical bar, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. And we're doing that for each stitch across. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, of course leaving those loops on the hook. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. When you get to these slip stitches, we're inserting, yarning over, and pull up a loop. We'll treat those slip stitches like any other stitch. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, all the way down the row till we get to our last stitch. So we've got 2 slip stitches here. So we're going to simple both of those. For our last stitch, again, we want to make sure we find that front and back bar of that last stitch. Insert, yarn over, pull up the loop. At the end of all of your rows, you should have the same number of loops on your hook as you did with your starting chain, so you can always stop and count if you need to. So we're going to do our return pass. We're going to stop when we have 2 loops left on the hook. So we're going to chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2, and through 2, again till there's 2 loops left on the hook. So here's what we have so far. Kind of have our first wave locked in there. So now we're going to change color, yarn over, pull through those last 2 loops, and work row 4 of the pattern. We're going to start this row with a chain 1, so yarn over, pull up the loop. Follow that with a Tunisian double crochet. Yarn over, pull up a loop in the next stitch, yarn over, and pull through 2. We're going to follow that with 2 simple stitches. There's 1 and 2, and then we've got 2 slip stitches, 1 and 2. 2 simple stitches, 4 double crochets, 1, here's 2, 3, and 4. 2 simples and 2 slip stitches. 2 simples, 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, 2 simples, 2 slip stitches, 2 simples, and we're here at our last 4 stitches, and we need to put double crochets in each of these stitches. So here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, and now we'll double crochet in our last stitch, making sure we still catch both loops of that last stitch. Yarn over, pull up the loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we can do our return pass as normal. So we'll chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, until there are 2 loops left on the hook. So this is what we've got here. Little waviness going on the top of that row from the different heights of those stitches. So again, we've got 2 loops left on our hook. We're going to drop our purple and grab the gray, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. And again, with the gray, we're just going to Tunisian simple stitch across the row. So just pulling up a loop in each vertical bar along the row. Meet me when you get to the end of this row, and I'll kind of give you a visual of what that last stitch looks like as a double crochet as opposed to a simple stitch. So I'm coming to my last stitch here. Remember, this was a double crochet. So even when I rotate my work towards me, I'm going to still have a front loop and a back loop of that stitch, and make sure I insert under both of those loops. Yarn over, pull up the loop, chain 1 to start the return pass, yarning over, pulling through 2. And here is where I would take my purple, yarn over, pull through 2 to change color. So for our wave stitch, we're going to want to repeat rows 2, 3, 4, and 5. And just make sure you finish with a row 3 or a row 5. And those are just basically the rows where we did our simple stitch across. This video was made as a supplement to the wave stitch as part of the Tunisian holiday sampler blanket. To get the row by row instructions for the wave stitch square and learn more about this free sampler Afghan pattern, please visit the link in the description.